Again guys, welcome back to the Code Archive channel, and this is lesson 17 on the playlist on Java fundamentals. And in the previous video we had looked at arithmetic operators and also at assignment operators, and then also we looked at comparison operators, and today I want us to look at the logical operators. And we say that logical operators are the kind of operators which are used to perform the logical operations. Logical operations, for example, if you have two values you want to evaluate them, and you have two conditions you want to test it, so these are the logical operations. So without having a waste time, let us go to our code and then demonstrate this type of logical operators. We have three types of the logical operators. We have the AND, and then we have OR, and then we have NOT. So if you come to the code, I believe that you are also able to see my IDE screen, and that you are also following along. So this is the first this is the code we wrote when we were looking at the comparison operators. Let us highlight this and then write a new fresh code to demonstrate the concept of the logical operators in Java. So here we have three types of logical operators. We have this operator which is used to demonstrate AND, logical AND, and then we have this operator which is used to demonstrate NOT, and that is logical NOT, and then we have this other operator which is used to demonstrate the logical OR. So this one is used to demonstrate the logical OR. We are going to have a look at how do we apply each one of them, and what scenarios can we apply, and how do we use it in the code. So without wasting time, let us declare maybe two variables and then use the logical operators on them to perform some kind of operations. So we are going to have declare three variables. We have first variable to be int, and then we are going to call it first, let us say num1, and here we are going to store a value of 10. Let's store a value of maybe 20. We are going to declare another variable, integer variable called num2, and we are going to have to store a value of maybe 30. Alright, and then we are going to have to declare another variable of the type boolean. You remember we did a boolean. We said that we have 7 types of primitive data types, and one of them is the boolean. So we are going to declare another variable of the type boolean and call it result. And here we are going to have the value null stored into it. We are not assigning any value to this variable called result. And this variable, because it is a boolean, it can store either true or a false value. We said all boolean variables store either true value or a false value. Now we are going to use the logical operator. We start with the first logical operator, which is logical AND. And here we are going to use the comparison operators together with these logical operators. Okay, so we are going to determine if num1 is equal to num2. Let us add another number called num3. Int num3 is equal to maybe 40. Alright, and then we are going to compare num1 with num2, and then also compare num1 with num3. So we are going to say if num1 is equal, we said equal, this double equal sign is used to compare the equality of values. So here we want to compare if num1 is equal to num2 and num2 is 30. And so we want to test both conditions, not just one condition but two conditions. And and num1 is equal to num3, and then what do we want to print? Maybe we want to perform which kind of logic we want to perform. Maybe we say system, we just want to print that information, and say that num1 is equal to num2, and also num1 is equal to num3. So we can say here num1, or number 1 is equal to num2 and equal to num3. Alright, else if this condition fails, then just print out and say that system, maybe let us just copy this line the whole way it is, and then print it here, paste it here, and then just change the value. Say num1 is not equal to num2 and num3. Alright, so this is what we want to print. So here you can see that we are testing two conditions. We are testing that num1 must be equal to num2, and also it must be equal to num3. So because we are testing two logical conditions, then here we are using the logical AND. This kind of operation is what we are calling the logical AND. And therefore, when you run this, when you compile this program, then you are going to see either of these two output, either this or this. According to us, we know that first number 20 is not equal to num2, and also it is not equal to num4. So we are going to print the second line, which says that num1 is not equal to num2 and num3. Alright, so let us now assume that in num2 we also have 20. What will happen? So which means that num1, which is 20, will be equal to num2, but num1 is not equal to num3. But here we want to test, whenever we use AND, then the two conditions must be true. And if it is not true, it will still come back here. So when we rerun the code, it will still print the same value. Let us wait and see what happens. And here in the console, you can see that we have the same output. num1 is not equal to num2 and num3, because although num1, the first number, let us give them the names first number. We say first number, and then here we say second number, and then here we say third number. So here you can see there is errors here because these variables are not here. We have changed the name, so we just have to change to the new names we have written. And here we say second number, and here first number, and here second number. So we're just changing the name in order to be more convenient to read. So here we are saying that if the first number is equal to the second number, and also the first number is equal to the third number, let us use the third number here, not the second number again, the third number, then print this statement. And if this both condition does not hold true, then you come and print this other statement here. But now let us assume that all of them are 2020. Then which means that if the program evaluates this condition, it will find that first number is equal to second number, and it is also equal to the third number, and therefore it will print this first statement. So when you print this, then you are going to see a different result. So you can see that we are able to print the first statement here, which is first number is equal to second number, and it is also equal to num3. Alright, so this is the use of AND operator, AND logical operator, to demonstrate that the two conditions must hold true. And then we have the other logical operator called the or this one with a double line is used to demonstrate either of these conditions is going to be true. So here we are going to, instead of using AND logical operator, we use this operator called OR logical operator. So here we are testing that, we are saying that in a plain language, if first number is equal to second number, or first number is equal to third number, which means that either of these conditions are true, then print this statement. Or else, if none of them is true, then if it does not evaluate to true, then you come and print this number. So now let us assume that we have the third number here, maybe is 50. The first number is 20, the second number is 20, the third number is 50. So here, when you run this program, then you are going to have the first line printed, because first number is equal to second number, but it is not equal to the third number. But at least one condition has been met. So when you run this, it is going to give you, it is going to print the first statement. So let us wait and see the output. So you can see number 1 is equal to num2 and equal to num3. Let us, instead of and here, let us use or, because it is either of the conditions. So when you run again, it's going to give you this output. So you can see the new output here. Num1 is equal to num2 or equal to num3, because this first number is equal to second number. One of the conditions have been met. Alright. So, and then we have this other, let us look at this other one called the not operator. So instead of using all here, let us delete this, and then here we put the value, we put in front of this, in front of this we put not value, so maybe here we put this symbol not. So this one here is used to demonstrate a logical not, which means that this condition should not be equal to this. And when you look here, we have the first number. We are saying the first number not equal to second number. First number is 20, second number is 20. These numbers are equal. These variables hold the same values. But here, this logical condition, if you try to evaluate it, then it will be false, because these numbers are equal. And then we are going to print this alternative line. So let us run the code and then see the output on the screen. So you can see that the second line is being output num1 is not equal to num2. Correct? Why? Is because this condition here is testing false, because first number is equal to second number. But here we have specified not. So this one will evaluate to false, and then it will jump to the second line, which is this one, which is being printed. So guys, these are the three types of the logical operators you can always use when you want to perform any kind of logical operators. Alright, let us give a use case, a real scenario where you can be using these logical operators. For example, let us say go back to the same scenario of a bank transaction, and you want to transfer money from one person to another. You want to transfer money from your bank account to another person's bank account. First of all, we need to test maybe let us say we want to test two conditions. We want to test that the value you have entered is not a string, for example. It's not a combination of letters, so that when you enter the value, you should not enter the value, for example, A, B, C, or 1, 2. The figure which you are going to transform must be all numbers, either 1,900, whatever amount it is, but it must be in numbers. So first of all, when you enter that value that you want to transfer, we need to test two conditions. We need to test that the value is not a letter, or the value does not contain a letter, and also the value is less than your bank balance, because you cannot transfer something that is more than your bank balance. So if these two conditions are met, then continue with the transfer. So you can see in this scenario, we are using and we are also using the logical operator not. So this is a scenario whereby when you have a program which we want to examine such kind of logical operation, then you are going to use this kind of logical operators. Alright, so guys, this is all about this particular video. It is about the logical operators, and in case you have a question, you can type it. We will also create a Zoom meeting so that you can ask a question that you have been writing down. So otherwise, thank you for watching, and see you again later in the next video. In the next video, we will have a look at something called the scanner object, and how to get user input, how to get the user to input their data from the screen. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and if you find the content useful, please consider sharing and subscribing, and also giving us any kind of support that you can. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.